Cool.
It's like right at the bottom a little bit, but not bad at all.
Cool, man.
Going live. Unmute her and let her see Matt. Welcome to Mornings with Matt, personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. This morning we are joined by Miss Kylie Gilbride. Kylie is a young actress and student. I think, are you a senior, Kylie?
I'm a rising senior, yes.
All right. She is a senior in high school, so she's going to be going through some life transitions here pretty soon. I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little bit. She's also been at the studio. You might be our longest running student. It's possible.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
Wow.
So Kylie, hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you on the show. So tell me, let's talk about you a little bit. So who is Kylie Gilbride?
What a question.
I know.
Yeah, so like you said, I've been at Deering for I think about 10 years now. But outside of that, I love hanging out with my friends and, watching Netflix and all that fun jazz.
All right, good. So so tell me about you though, like the deeper you. When you're growing up, what drew you to acting in the first place?
Yeah, so I have always, this is going to sound bad, I've always liked being the center of attention.
That's true.
And so that's really what kind of drew it to me in the first place. But once, I found you guys, you really opened up the doors to spreading light and spreading joy through acting. And, I definitely would not have stayed if it weren't for that.
That's awesome. And, it's funny because we tend to try to teach that out of people, that whole like clamoring for the limelight thing. Because I actually believe you're not going to get it until you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think you've gone through that transition, and I'm very proud of your progress and your maturity and sort of where you are. I can see it in your eyes now. You used to be so eager. You operated from here in life. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like very intense.
Yes.
Kylie was always very intense, and now I think you've settled down and you're more at peace with who you are, which is it's funny, like it's more attractive just as a person,
For sure.
So talk to me about your journey. Like, where are you at right now? How has it been being off school? Is that weird? You missed your graduation?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely been weird, missing out on prom, and I was supposed to go on a choir trip with, my choir to California, but unfortunately that got canceled. So it's definitely been weird being inside my house for this long, but we're making the most out of it.
Did you do anything for prom? Did you do one of those like little Zoom prom things?
Not really. There was a little like mobile picture taking station.
Okay.
So you could like take pictures in front of it at our school, or you could like text your address and they'll come and you could take pictures in front of it, but nothing too crazy. So.
Yeah, that's rough. Okay. Well, good. So so where are you at now? Like what's next for Kylie? Are you a senior now or you're going to be a senior?
I'm going to be a senior.
Okay, so you've still got another year worth
Yes.
of coasting in high school. Junior year's the hard year, I gotta tell you. Like senior year, oh man. Hopefully you don't get Kylie senioritis. That'll be rough for everybody.
I hope not.
I think you've already got it. She's so relaxed, Dakota. Dakota's here too. I should introduce Dakota. He's doing his very first producing job. So if the video's not good, it's his fault.
No, yeah, it is gonna be like okay.
I trust Dakota.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Not yet.
Kylie,
yet.
you're the best.
He's got a lot of work to do.
I do.
So what's on the docket for you? What's the plan? Do you have one yet?
Starting to form one. That's what this summer is kind of all about. So I've already kind of started the application process for college, which is really scary, but really exciting. And I'm actually starting a summer program here in about a week for actually acting through a university I'm applying to. So
Nice, nice. So where are you thinking about going to college?
I'm thinking about USC, similar to quite a few other students here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay, good. And what's drawing you over there?
honestly, the program, the acting program there is unmatched. And, I've heard from BB and from Xavier, who have both kind of gone through the steps already, that they loved it. And, touring campus, it just felt so right.
Yeah, good. Well, good. That's exciting. So that'll be a big step for you and a big transition. So what questions do you have for me? How can I potentially help you?
Yeah. So my first question is, starting to talk about college. What's the best way to prepare for a college audition since the stakes are a little bit higher?
Why are the stakes higher?
Well, I just feel like instead of, either you get this role or you don't, it's more you get into school or you don't, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the stakes are what you make of them. You know what I mean? So, what's interesting is, you use BB as an example, and she applied for a few different colleges, and
Mhm.
one of which she didn't get into, and she found that out before USC, and it kind of broke her. It was her number
Mm.
one college, and she didn't get in, and she was all devastated about it. And she called, and she was like, I'm not going to make it to class. I'm too sad. And when I finally got a hold of her, I said, okay, here's the deal. Get in class. What are you doing? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? And the reason was, it's like, hey, she put in her full effort. Like, we were doing private lessons twice a week. Like, we were doing all the stuff. She's a good actress, and she worked really hard to get to where she got to in order to apply at a high level. And then if the college didn't want her, that's a light driven decision. Like, that's a God thing there, because she did everything she could. So she's, in that way, she's able to release. And if you think about it, like, you just don't want to, even with that type of thing, you don't want to put your success or failure based on what other people say of you. So if USC is supposed to be, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And you'll realize that there's a certain amount of work that has to be done to get there. And then, even then, you may not get in. There may be circumstances out of your control that you never know what they are, but that just means you're being redirected someplace else. So your job, and I mean, this is for anything, preparing for anything, but your job is to do your absolute best so that you can go to sleep at night knowing I gave 110%. Now I can rest easy, letting the cards lay where they fall.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd say the only difference for college is you have so much more time to prepare for it. So therefore, like, don't wait. So my big advice to you is prepare now. Like, be really ambitious right now. Pick hard monologues. Pick things that are difficult, and push through the boundaries. And this is the thing I talked to BB about too, which was like focus on hard classes. So she
Mhm.
went to USC, and she also came back and said, I still haven't taken a class as good as Masterclass.
Sure.
And she went to different studios in LA, said the same thing. So know that there's training, high level training available to you, and you just want to, like, a good actor is a good actor, period. And so the more confidence you get in acting, then it'll translate into your audition process. But the biggest piece of advice is start early. Like, start like today.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I can piggyback off of that too, definitely, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And if it doesn't happen, then that means there's going to be something better for you waiting afterwards. So I'm not saying you won't make it in, because I think you will, because I've seen you perform and you're amazing. But if it doesn't, then just think, okay, I have to not only work harder, but I know that because I'll work harder, something will be better waiting for me. Because USC might not be the best for you. And I hope it is. again, I'm sure you're going to get in because you're freaking amazing. But still, do the work and be prepared. Give 110% like Matt said, and then just know you did your best. And if they're like, no, then okay, on to the next one.
Dakota, you're so sweet. Oh my goodness.
Isn't he great?
Thanks.
So yeah, and I mean, think about this too. Like, what's funny is I talked to BB afterward, and I'm like, now that you got into USC, is that where you were supposed to go? And she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was where I was supposed to go, like 100%. And I'm like, okay, so guess what? Somebody was protecting you
Yeah.
from going to the other place, because if you would have got in there, you'd have had this decision to make, and now all of a sudden maybe you'd have gone to the wrong school. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're so right. So the idea would be really, and this is hard. This is a pretty hard concept, and I know you're not, you're not totally tapped into God necessarily, but maybe you're getting there. I'm not sure. But the idea here is to thank God, to say thank you for the struggles, because they're trying to teach you something. So the big example I love to give is knocking my son off of his bike. And if I literally pushed him off the bike in order to protect him from going in the street and getting hit by a car, it was my only option was to knock him off the bike. He's too little when he's learning how to ride the bike to know why I did it. So he'd cry, he'd look up at me, and he would get mad at me. And he would say, why would you do that to me, Dad? Like, why would you ever hurt me? And I go, I would hurt you to protect you. I would do whatever it took to make sure you don't get hit by the car. So it's difficult to do, but if you can start to attach gratitude to difficult situations, to struggles, then you can realize, hey, there's a way to transition through this if I can attack it from gratitude and love, and I've done the work. Like I got to know I've done the work so I can earn my pillow. But if I've done that, then I can be grateful and say, gosh, there's a reason for this. I don't know what it is. I don't understand it, but I trust that there's a reason. Please show me. I'm going to get back to work. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a great outlook, honestly. I mean, it's definitely hard, but yeah.
All right, what's next, Callie?
So, during this whole quarantine period, it's basically been an off season for auditions and parts. And so besides going to classes and continuing learning, what else can we do to maintain and continue our growth during an off season?
Well, you got to read. That's number. So there is nothing else you can do other than learn. I mean, there's all there is. And I would say that you want to be immediately one of the people that doesn't use this as an excuse, the quarantine. Like, I got to tell you, the people who didn't stop taking classes during quarantine, who did the online, they leveled up in ways you would not believe, because we had to learn and innovate and do things differently. The actors were learning different techniques that we were sort of inventing as we went, and now they are fully equipped to audition and to act in a brand new genre that didn't exist before the quarantine. So what you want to do is you want to start saying, instead of what can't I do right now, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is simple. I mean, you want to pick up a play, you should be reading a play every day. You should be, you can, if you have 5 hours in your day, then that's 5 hours that can be put towards your acting. You need to be really accountable for your time. So look at it and really, really see, like, how much effort am I putting in, and then how much output am I getting, and they will probably equate to one another.
Yeah.
And usually you can associate your success, if you're smart, you'll start to associate your success with what you did 6 months ago, not with what you did today or yesterday. Because sometimes what happens is we'll see success today, and we haven't been doing any work, so we're like, oh, I don't have to do work. But it's like, no, you're actually successful because of what you did 6 months ago and all that grinding work you did. But now 6 months from now, you haven't been laying down the same seeds, and so you're go through a period of drought. So ideally, to avoid this like up and down thing, you just want to be on a steady curve and don't let anything stop you. So think about like, gosh, I should be in class, honestly, and if not in class, put myself in class. You know,
Yeah.
like you can check out books, you can order books. You should be reading. You should be doing monologues every day. You should be recording yourself. You should be auditioning for colleges, like fake auditioning for colleges every day. You know, like there shouldn't be a day that goes by that you don't do that. So I think deep down you probably already knew that answer. You just wanted me to say it so to hold you accountable and be like, okay, I got to get on the boat. But like really, there is no substitute. You know, like you just have to understand. You will be learning the rest of your life. You will be growing the rest of your life, or you'll be dying and you'll be getting worse. Like there's no in between. You're either progressing or you're regressing. So ideally, especially, and I was preaching this early during quarantine. When it's hard for the world, like during quarantine, it's hard to be committed and go like, oh, I'm going to go into class right now. I'm going to sign up for the class, the online class. Maybe it's not as good. Maybe it's whatever. And you want to just like think, I'm not going to do it. If you're one of the few that keep working and keep pushing forward, you get to lap everybody else that stops. So you want to think every time it gets hard for the world, for other people, that's when I want to double down on my work. That's when I want to really grind, and I get no credit for it. But when the darkness goes away and I lift my head up and everyone's like, oh, we're out of that, all of a sudden you're up there and people are like, well, how'd she get up there? You know, like I've been grinding the last 3 months. You know, while you guys were watching Netflix, I was grinding.
Mm-hmm. And if I can build off that again, for me personally, during this quarantine, I think this is the hardest I've ever worked. And I realized on the off season, because you mentioned that earlier, even in the off seasons, you have to have the mindset of, I need to put in more work now. Because now you don't have work, you don't have anything like that in the way when you're in the off season. So you should be grinding and getting better and leveling up so that when you come out of it, you're a whole different beast.
Yeah, and it's super hard to do. I mean, but you look at the professional athletes, for instance. The second off season happens, it's like the ones who are next level are already grinding.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl. He has a celebration dinner, and then over dessert, he's going, how can I get better? Let's look at how we plan for next year. Like literally, that's the mindset. And ideally, you want to have a similar type mindset. Like take the win, appreciate it, but then realize there's always room to grow. There's always a chance to get better and to move forward. And if you're moving forward, you're not moving backward. But if you're not moving forward, you are moving backward.
Yeah, for sure.
And like Denzel Washington said, hard work works.
Hard work works. He did say that.
He did.
I like that.
All right, what's next, Kylie?
So, talking about college and taking our next steps, how do you know when you're ready for the bigger market instead of just, the specialized Arizona commercial market?
Well, again, like I want you to know that you're ready anytime. Like you could go right now. There's nothing stopping you. And I recommend people go. Like there's no problem with you going. The difference is you need to have a mindset. You have to have the work ethic. If you don't have the work ethic, then there's no way that you're going to make it over there. So it has nothing to do with really how far you've come. It has to do with how far you've come up here.
Yeah.
And you have to understand it's not easier over there. There are more jobs technically, but there's exponentially more people going after those jobs. Like we are the reason I think why this is a hard profession to get into, because they're all hard. There isn't a profession that's easy. What does your mom do? She's successful.
She's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer, yeah. So you think about the grinding work that it took to become a lawyer. Like it's really hard.
Yeah.
To go to law school and to pass your exams and all that stuff. I mean, my father-in-law, he's in his 60s and he had to repass the bar exam because they moved to Arizona and stuff, and he's like studying for months, and he's been practicing law for 30 years, and he still has to study every night for months and months to pass this exam, just to keep his license. He's not even practicing. He just wanted to keep his license, so it was grueling. So you realize like there's no easy path in life. There just isn't. So if you can wrap your mind around the discipline that it takes to be successful as an actor and start doing it, and you've been doing it for a year straight, 2 years straight, then you're ready.
For sure.
Because then you just apply the same discipline out there to the new opportunities, and I believe, I guarantee you'll be successful. I don't know the date, but you will be. You know, like within a decade, you'll be absolutely 100% making a good living off of acting and acting alone if you did this every day and you grinded at it. Like I would guarantee you within a decade, probably sooner, but guarantee within a decade. So then you think like, oh, that's crazy. That's so long. But well, so is going to law school, and so is going to med school. And so like you want to be in one of the professions that everybody wants to be in, you've got to put in the work. And then you think, how hard does your mom work as a lawyer?
Yeah, she works really hard.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. So then once you get there, there's no stopping. Like once you've gotten to a place where you're actually like landing jobs, you don't get to let up the gas pedal. Just like your mom, you have to work harder to stay on your A game. So the idea is if you can just stop thinking about acting as this thing that people fall into and they luck out getting, and that, you know, and you consider it a real job and something that takes work and effort and discipline and skill, you will just be building skill always. And your goals should be skill oriented, not stuff oriented. So rather than I want to land the agent, it's like I want to be proficient in 3 Shakespeare plays, you know, instead of I want to land this gig, it's like I want to be excellent at this dialect.
Yeah.
You know, and then by increasing your skill, then the stuff you think you want, they're going to fall into place, but they won't make or break you.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great point, you know.
So what are you taking from this, Kylie? Are you scared? Am I scaring you with all this work talk? Are you ready to take this on?
I'm ready. It's definitely going to be scary, and there are going to be some challenges, but you know, I'm ready. You've prepared me well over the last how many ever years.
I have. So what are you going to do? What are you going to start doing today? Like, what are you going to drop up this call and go do?
I'm going to start looking up monologues and getting ready to audition.
Okay. So how are you going to level up today? You're going to pick a monologue?
Pick a monologue and maybe start analyzing it. We'll see how long picking a monologue takes me.
Okay. You need several monologues though, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you need to pick all the monologues, and you need to spend I'm going to say 2 hours memorizing today.
All right.
Are you in?
I'm in.
You sure?
I'm positive. I want this.
So we check in on this stuff though, Dakota, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now what's going to have to happen is we're going to hold you accountable. So you
Check
are going
up on me.
You're going to post. No, you're going to post.
Okay.
You're going to post on either Instagram or Facebook. You're going to tag Dakota and myself, and you're going to say, I picked out these monologues, and I spent 2 hours memorizing. And then you're going to tell me how you feel on that post as well.
You got it.
Okay.
Will do.
The grind is going to be painful today, but the result afterward, you're going to feel very accomplished, and you're going to feel some of that stress go away. Because there's a lot of mounting stress when you're looking at the mountain and going like, where do I start? And I'm giving you the starting line right now. It's going to be about 4 or 5 hours worth of work today.
That's all right. I have nothing else to do today.
Yeah. So 4 or 5 hours worth of grinding work and I mean concentrated work, and you're going to feel amazing. And then the key is, how do I keep that going daily?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Kylie, your smile is lighting up the screen. We love you so much. Are you? I heard you're coming back. That's what Joey said.
I'm back. I'll see you guys on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Where's the cheers, bro?
You know, it's right. See,
Dakota.
He's not gonna get this. This is gonna be.
There we
This
go.
is it. This is
Hold
it.
on. 3, 2, 1.
There we go. All right, Kylie.
welcome.
Have a great rest of your day. I got to let you go because you've got a lot of work to do.
I do, but I'm starting now.
Good.
So
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
We
Matt.
expect that. We expect that post and tag. Okay.
Will do.
Speaking of Kylie, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Everyone else, don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel, share this video with anybody who's maybe thinking about going to college. It's senior year, coming up on their senior year. This is an important information for people to know about the mindset that it takes to get into college, to get into a performance college, or really any college. It is about your mindset. You can waste a lot of time in college. It could be a very bad idea for some people, or it can be an amazing, amazing experience if you go into it with the right mindset. So do us a favor, subscribe to this channel, like, and share. It sure means the world to us. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.